In a candid and possibly cannabis-enhanced moment on his Club Random podcast, Bill Maher confessed he was wrong about President Trump's tariffs. And I thought, whoa, did Bill just have a come-to-Jesus moment?
Tariffs. Now, I remember along with probably most people, were saying at the beginning, oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had a thing how the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me. But that didn't happen. The stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I would have thought, and I gotta own it, that these tariffs were going to sink this economy by this time, and they didn't.
But the bigger admission wasn't about economics. It was about the danger of letting mindset override truth.
That's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere and leads you to dishonesty.
Bill Maher's honesty cuts through the smog of nonsense and the stubborn bias of modern discourse. If all you can think of is, I hate Trump, then you're no longer reasoning, you're reacting. And reaction-based thinking leads to blindness. It's not just unproductive, it's dishonest. But here's the deeper truth. This isn't just about Trump. The principle holds true regardless of political party. If every time you hear Obama, your gut reaction is, oh, he's just a commie, you're just as prone to delusion. You'll bend reality to fit your narrative, dismiss anything that works, and double down on what doesn't, because truth becomes secondary to your bias. And here's that come to Jesus moment. Jesus called out the Pharisees for their personal bias, legal technicalities, and assumptions in John 7:24. Stop judging by mere appearances, but instead judge correctly. He's making a call for discernment, to look deeper than surface impressions, political party, or emotions, and instead evaluate based on truth and results. Yeah, that's right. Jesus is a results-oriented kind of guy. Personally, I discovered this freedom through an unlikely source. It was a story featured in the book Switch about a missionary named Jerry Sternum. He was sent to rural Vietnam to solve a severe malnutrition crisis. Instead of importing complex theories, he simply looked for what was already working. He found that a few mothers were feeding their children tiny shrimp and crabs from rice paddies, local protein others believed inappropriate for kids. So he set up mother-to-mother workshops to build community and better diets. That small difference changed everything. The takeaway? Do more of what works, do less of what doesn't. It sounds almost laughably simple, but it's liberating. It breaks you out of the emotional shackles of tribal politics. It frees you from the prison of the two-party system and the addiction to being right all the time. Look, let's face it, theory often sounds utopian, especially when wrapped in ideology. But come on now, say it with me. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And some of the worst outcomes have come from leaders who meant well but refused to course correct.
It sound right, boys.
Bill Maher's willingness to admit error and to warn against the blinding effects of partisan bias is a breath of fresh air. His message isn't pro-Trump or anti-Trump, it's pro-reality. When we observe honestly and act on what works, we step into wisdom. When we lead with hatred of any leader, we lose our way. I bet Bill Maher never thought he'd prove Jesus right. What do you think? What would happen if we stopped picking sides and started asking what's actually working? I'm Brian Tuttemore with today's Faith Check News. Remember, think right to live free.